Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is called Fragments. It was written by Steffen Schütte, and it's translated into English by Pascal Breitenfeld, who is also our game master. This is episode 8. Our recap will be given by Steve Anderson as his character, Walter von Ehrenberg. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Steve?
Thanks, Tom. From the journal of Walter von Ehrenberg, 18 May 1926. It has been a fascinating day. It began with us meeting with Professor Lehman, a former school teacher in the village. He told us a great many things related to the dreams that we have been having. As I suspected, he told us these dreams are shared by not just our group, but by everyone, a true shared unconsciousness. When I write the paper of this, my hobby of psychology will become a career, perhaps with a post at a university, and my concerns for my future will disappear. It is vital that I capture all my thoughts and all that has happened here in my commonplace book. According to Lehman, there are some members of this village that are powerful members of the Council of Ilarnak. There they are known as Frisa and Elisa. They control the social scene in Ilarnak. Lehman doesn't know who they are in the village, but he suspects they are members of the Rifle Club. They must be of an extraordinary mental power to bend the land of dreams, our collective unconsciousness, to their own desires. I've had little success as to that on my visits, although my limp is gone, reflecting the greater health of my mind than my body. Lehman told us the members of the Rifle Club have a regular contest, and the winner is crowned king, or more accurately, given the chain of office. The chain is made of gold coins, hearkening back to the story of the money changer. Could that chain have special powers both here and in the land of dreams? Lehman also told us that some of the younger members of the community, ones that do not have the skills to visit the dreamlands, have nonetheless been traveling there. He doesn't know how they've gotten there, but he knows they couldn't have done it on their own. He was astounded when we told him we had seen the Sandman here, not in the dreaming. The Sandman is a creature of the dreams, he said. How can he leave the dreamlands? Is he suggesting that our minds can manifest a being? I shall have to ask him another time. These things Lehman told us confirm our suspicions that the connection between this town and the dreamlands is becoming stronger. As we get closer to the 58-year cycle we've identified, strange things are happening. A week ago, I would have dismissed this, but now, after all that has happened, I believe Lehman is correct. The barrier has thinned. Lehman gave us some names of other people we could trust, including Dr. Schmidtke, a member of the Hearts Club, not the Rifle Club, Anna, a woman many in the village simply call the Cat Lady, and Mina, an old woman that lives in a hut in the community gardens. I think Daniel shares my fascination with the larger story that is happening here, but Carl is very focused on finding the missing professor. As our host had nothing to share about him, Carl led us to town. Following up on the dreams, Daniel and I went to find Mina. There was no answer at the door to her hovel. Peering through the windows, we saw drying mushrooms. Perhaps those could explain the ability of the mentally immature to travel beyond their natural abilities. Sadly, the doors and windows were locked or barred, and before we could find a way in, we were interrupted by a busybody, a rabbit breeder who was also the chairman of the garden committee. He seemed to be a rather dull man and unlikely to be one of the dreamers we seek, but he did mention he was a member of the Rifle Club. Perhaps the ability to manifest in the land of dreams is not readily apparent. Herr Prinz went to the record hall to look for more information about the Rifle Club, the disturbances we found through the history of this village, etc., but he was stymied by typical German bureaucracy. Continuing his dogged search for Professor Erling, Carl visited Anna. Hans went along with him. What they saw there shook them both. Her home was locked, and through the windows they could see her body kneeling on the floor, head in the oven. In hopes of saving her, they broke in, only to find much tragedy. She was dead, as were all her cats, due to gas poisoning. Yet more horrifying, they found the bodies of 2 children in the kitchen. After their deaths, she, so the local constable claims, killed herself and her cats. The constable, seemingly unable to accept that Carl and Hans had just stumbled upon the horrific scene, told them they should not leave the village until the investigation is done. While all this was happening, Daniel and I, having met Herr Prinz, were having afternoon coffee while waiting for the others for lunch. There we overheard a story of a farmer named Roper who had his young goats killed. Daniel recalled the story of the 7 young goats that has eerie parallels to the event. At lunch, we decided to pay a visit to the farmer. After lunch, using a clever ruse by Herr Prinz, we were able to learn more from the farmer. He claims he saw and heard a wolf, but we found no sign of a wolf, nor did the injuries on the goats seem like those of an animal, but rather of a knife or other cutting tool. As with the grim story, 6 young goats were killed, and 1 lived by hiding not in a clock case, but beneath a water trough. Perhaps these so-called fairy tales are part of the land of dreams, part of what Jung would call archetypes. I must remember to explore that in my paper. I'm exhausted just writing this, but our day had more in store. We returned to the village, seeking out more information in the newspaper archives. But at each step, we find that what we really need must be in the city records that we cannot gain access to. Daniel, taking matters into his own hands, begins to plan an illicit attempt to gain access. Carl and Hans, perhaps in hopes of finding some ease after their horrific morning, take a stroll in the woods. Sadly, they did not find the peace they sought there, but more terror and, if not death, at least violence. While walking down the forest path, they heard 2 shotgun blasts, quickly followed by a man yelling, "Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see the wolf that ran this way?" They hadn't, but when they followed him back up the trail, they did find a young woman wearing, as one would expect from the Red Riding story, a red scarf. She wasn't bringing a basket to her grandmother, though. She had been shot by the very same shotgun the young man was carrying. Hans ran for help while Carl carried the injured girl back to the village. The doctor is quite concerned for the girl's life. More bureaucracy interfered when a constable named Fauberg accused Carl of pretending to be a member of the Berlin police and once more informed him not to leave the village again and to leave the investigation to the police. When Carl returned, he was livid. A constable might need to be careful if Carl gets him in an equal playing field.
Thank you. So, as you just stated, Carl came back to the hotel. I think you all met up there again, and he seemed to be a little bit in a bad mood. So
Yeah, these locals, they don't know what they're messing with.
it is like early evening now.
Getting the strong feeling that there's a lot more people in on this than we think there are.
Well, yeah, and that worries me because if we're right in our frankly bizarre conjecture that the way to interfere is to wake the princess in the city to the north, but these other people are more expert in the dreamland than we are. What do we have except for the 1,000 League Boots?
You're having that conversation at the restaurant, or
Wherever we've come now, yeah, if I've joined them at the restaurant.
Okay.
It's a noisy place, so we're kind of off in a corner.
It's
We're not trying to be heard by everybody.
at this point. I don't think there's any more answers that'll be easy to find anymore.
So what are your plans?
I only think there's like two other, like maybe two, maybe three things left to do, I guess. One is we have to dream and we have to go.
Yeah, I think that's a given that we're going to enter into the dream realm when we sleep tonight.
Yeah, we have to. And we have to.
Once
make
we're
that
there, we
journey.
need to go to, where was it?
It wasn't a Larnac, it was something else. I know it was a tower to the north or something.
Yar
Larnac.
or no?
Elarnik was
Ilarnik.
Ilarnik.
Yeah.
The council is holding her in their city north.
I feel like time is not on our side. And I know, Daniel, you were looking for a way to get into the records.
Yeah, I was looking around the building. Actually, Keeper, I spent like some time at least looking around the building of like entry points and exits just to get a sense of it. It's just a main entrance and like a back entrance.
Yeah. You mean the city hall? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You would have spotted back entrance. You think you could use?
So keep we're in a busy restaurant with lots of people eating, drinking, and such.
Yeah, we're not.
Well, yeah. If you want to, then you went to a different restaurant. The hotel restaurant is rather quiet, but it's
I
no
want
problem.
to keep an eye out on the other customers. Is anybody kind of paying unusual attention to our conversation? Kind of eavesdropping, so on.
Give me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Spot hidden. Didn't have my dice ready. That's a failure.
No, you don't notice anyone.
I'm pissed off, so I'm looking around too.
Go ahead.
05.
05.
Shows me up.
Is that like a question for you?
You don't actually notice anybody who's looking at you, but you see a man at a table a little bit over to the side. He seems to be from time to time to be looking over to you, and when you point him out to, I think, Joseph, who else was there? Who was going to look for Mina?
I was.
Joseph
Yeah.
Walter?
So the ones who talked to that rabbit breeder would
Yeah, that was
recognize him.
Walter and I.
He's
So
sitting
they would
there,
recognize-
seemingly having dinner. He's sitting here with a woman, maybe his wife. They seem to be. They don't seem to be talking a lot.
That man's a member of the Rifles Club.
Married couple sitting there not talking to each other. They're married. They've been married a while. Run out of stuff to say years ago.
I nod to him. I try to get his eye and nod to him across the room.
He seems a little surprised and nods back.
I think when we were in the garden, Daniel and I made a fairly good impression on this man. So if we wanted to learn more about the Rifle Club, we could probably invite him for drinks and have a chat.
Yeah, we can probably keep him busy for some time. I would
So
say
you want-
Is anyone concerned about that? All
I
right.
think trust your judgment, Walter. If you think you
Yeah.
can, if
Yeah.
you'd like to somebody else, I know that Herr Lieberman was considering trying to look at the documents in the city hall, despite the fact that it's also the police precinct,
yeah,
which to me seems rather formidable place to try to gain entry.
it's more of I was more trying to consider the odds than attempt it yet.
I trust Daniel. If he thinks he can do it, he can do it. All right, gentlemen, I guess I will go over and talk to my newfound friend and invite him for drinks.
Joseph,
So,
Carl, are you into shooting at all? I wonder if there's anybody that could help chat him up. I don't know the first thing about hunts.
the worst part is I don't recall his name.
I can help you out there.
Thank
I'm
you.
more of a swordsman myself, Mr. Lack.
Let me see.
I have quite a bit of skill with the rifle, actually. Growing up on our estate in the country,
Yeah, where is he?
used a shotgun more than the rifle, but there's a lot of carryover.
Carl Biela? Is that the
Yeah.
rabbit breeder?
Yeah.
Carl Friedrich Biela.
Either
Biela.
Vida? Okay, well, I'm going to butcher it no matter what. So yeah, I walk over and walk up to the table and say, "Pardon the interruption, but I was enjoying our conversation today about gardening and rabbits and the rifle club, and I was hoping perhaps you could stay after your dinner and have some drinks with me and my friends."
Well, sure. You wouldn't mind? He's looking at his wife. Why would I?
Oh, that's very kind of you, Frau.
And so let's just finish dinner and well, of course, if you're so kind to invite me, I won't decline.
I'll talk to our host here to see if we can have a private room, but if not, I have a nice room upstairs where we can sit and share a drink.
Yeah, sure. But I think it's okay if we have a drink here. May I just join you at your table then?
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your dinner.
They finish their dinner, and after some time, he comes over. You all staying, or anyone going off? The woman leaves the restaurant.
Oh, Frau Biela goes home.
Yeah.
That was I see. Yeah, I'm curious to stick around. I don't know how exactly to pump. What does the rabbit keeper look like?
Well, he's basically a little bit of a boring, very conservative man, dress gray suit. The hair is cut short, small glasses on.
I think he'd have, I guess, rough hands considering he gardens all the time.
Yeah, they're a little bit calloused.
He probably wears rabbit skin gloves, though.
No, he doesn't.
The fur on the inside.
So
yeah, he comes over. I introduce him around to everyone. I say, "Please sit. What can I get you to drink?"
Oh, a glass of wine.
I call the waiter over and
she
order a
gets
bottle for the
drink.
table.
So, what can I help you with? Were you interested to talk about?
Oh, well, we're just fascinated by your little village here. Village life seems so appealing. And we understand there's quite a festival coming up this weekend with the Rifle Club. And you mentioned you were a member of the Rifle Club.
Yes, I've been a member for years now.
What's that ordeal? Because I thought you'd be quite busy in I guess the festival coming up in a few days.
Well, most of the arrangements are met by young folks, but I'm not so much into climbing up ladders to hang up decorations and stuff. Oh, younger people can do that.
And every year there's a new king of the festival crowned.
Oh yeah, sure.
The best rifleman. Who's the obvious winner this year? I'm sure someone wins a lot.
Oh well,
our friend here clearly is the most likely to win. Surely.
No.
Does Revocable actually get to practice shooting rifles ever?
I never.
Who's the current king?
Old Gruber is the current king. He runs one of the bigger factories in town.
Canning?
Yeah, he's doing tinnery. We have a couple of tin can manufacturers here.
I think we met his son on the train, a bit of a Bolshevik sort, educated.
You did meet one, but his name wasn't Gruber.
Darn it.
His name was Yilman.
Oh, so that was a different family?
Sounds like.
They probably do the industry around the area.
Okay. So, were you about to say you don't enter the contest yourself?
Well, I entered the contest, but I'm not that skilled that I can hope to win.
I see.
What's the order of the festival? What do you do? Do people do other things besides shoot?
Well, the festival starts on Friday when with the opening of the fair. Then we have the parade through town, and after that, on Saturday we have the free shooting. So that's where the king is actually crowned.
And how long have you been practicing this festival?
Oh, it's been a tradition for as long as anyone can remember. I don't really know. I think it goes back to like 14th, 13th century. Back then, obviously not in this way, but it was a fair and everything.
So there's cooking and there's contests for food and pie making and streusel.
Exactly. There's always a lot of merrymaking, and it's a very fun festival. The mayor is pretty proud of it, and Mr. Yorka, our current chairman of the Rifle Society as well.
The York family, I think we saw some of their stones in the cemetery. They've been around for a very long time, yes?
Well, yeah, I think so.
And someone said something about the regalia that the king of the hunt received.
Oh,
some sort of
the chain of the office. Yeah, that's really something you must see if you're still around this weekend. It is beautiful.
Does Gruber wear that all the time, or does it just on the festival?
It's just taken out on the festival. It's much too valuable. York takes care of it. I think he has it locked away in his house.
So there's no female counterpart, like a queen or a princess, that's named as part of the festivals.
Oh yeah, but the queen is selected by the king.
Oh, there's
Usually it's his wife.
It better be his wife. He's trying to get in big trouble.
I was going to say that sounds like a very that sounds like a very interesting way to propose.
Yeah. This year I'm choosing.
Well, that happened as well. If you're interested in that, maybe you might want to talk to Mr. York. He could tell you much more about the history of the festival and everything. He's pretty knowledgeable about that, I think.
Actually, yeah, I was curious because I think I asked about this like a day or two ago. But how'd you get into the rifle club anyway? Did you just join?
Well, every citizen of Seehusen is allowed to join.
Huh.
Does the king enjoy any privileges throughout the year because he's king, like best parking spot or?
Well, basically he's presiding over certain other festivities, and to be quite honest, it's a bit about having those festivities set up in the first place and paying for a lot of stuff. So no one in his right mind who hasn't got the money for it will actually try to become.
Not like you can sell. It's not like you can sell the gold. It's not. Isn't the chain like actual gold or something?
Well, I think it is.
It's not like you can sell that for to pay for all of it.
No, York won't let the king take the chain home. He brings it to the occasions, and
okay. So it's like a festival laurel. They put it on you, and then they take it off immediately.
That one like a hand.
That makes sense.
It's like he gives it to you, and then immediately as you try to walk out of the chair, he takes it off of you and leaves it.
a bit like that.
Has Gruber been the king multiple times?
Oh yes, I think he's been running twice in a row now. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think he has been a couple of years ago.
Does Herr Joch himself compete, or is he happy to be the chairman? And
no, he competes, but I don't know. I don't think he has won the competition.
Are there second and third prizes, ribbons and such?
No.
So you have to be a very good shot, and you have to be able to provide the city with celebratory events. You have to be well off enough.
Well, at least the rifle club.
Yeah.
Private events for the members of the club. I see.
Yeah.
You mentioned there were other contests. Does that include like animals? Are you going to be showing your rabbits?
Is that?
I'm sorry.
No,
maybe I misunderstood.
No, we did. We have a breeders festival, but that's it. A breeders show, but that's in the spring. You missed that. It was lovely.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure your rabbits won.
Well, yeah, I got some of the finest rabbits in the area, and he starts rambling off about the different breeds of rabbits.
I'll interrupt him. Mr. Bila, is the mayor a member of the rifle club?
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Well,
Ever won a year?
You don't get into the office in a small town when you're not a member of the local clubs.
Of course.
Did you ever win like a festival year?
Yes, I think he was like 5 years ago. I think he was crowned king.
Hmm.
Might be 6. I'm not really sure.
How long has he been mayor anyway? Because I never actually asked anyone about that.
What? What you asking again?
How long has he been mayor? I don't think I ever asked anyone that.
Oh, he's been mayor for at least 10 years now.
Hmm.
He's
It's a very stable, small town after all.
yeah, he's basically settled into that post, which is if I think about it, might even be closer to 20 years that he's mayor now. But he's
You pick a successor or something?
well, the mayor is elected every 4 years, but
No one's
he is well connected, and he's the chairman of the Free Voters Association, and well, he's a big building contractor, so he has a lot of leverage around town.
If we were to drop by to ask Harryoch about the history of the festival, would you provide an introduction? I wouldn't. We are outsiders.
Sure.
That's very kind
Not
of
a
you.
problem.
Ehrenberg, I think this wine you chose was excellent. Let's.
Thank you. Let me pour everyone a little more.
Cheers.
So,
have a glass of water.
You got any more questions for him, or just do some chit-chatting?
I guess I'm going to ask him if he's heard anything more about the Farmarupa and his the attack. Is that the talk of the town, or
what latest thing happened the last few hours, actually?
Well, yes. He tells you basically that there's a bit of unrest, and people are worried with the wolf attacking a farmstead, and he heard about a young girl being attacked by a wolf this afternoon. And he basically says that there's quite some unrest with the populace.
Yeah, is there a sort of watch group or something put together? And are you doing something to protect your rabbits? I mean, I can't imagine a more defenseless animal in the face of a ravenous interloper.
Well, yeah, I'm a bit worried there, but well, I heard some people talking about forming a watch group and trying to find this wolf.
That's interesting. Perhaps I could join. I'd like to help keep this community safe. It's so lovely.
Oh, I don't. Well, you would have to maybe ask around in one of the cheaper places, in the cheaper bars around town.
You're right. It's probably not appropriate for a man of my station.
So, at some point, he takes his leave. He seems to be getting tired.
Wish him good night. Thank you for visiting us and regaling us with your stories and tales. And we look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yeah, sure. Do you make an appointment with him with York, or
to visit with York? Yeah, tomorrow late morning, perhaps, so that it won't interfere with anyone's meals, or whatever you think Harryoch would appreciate.
Yeah, sure. You can. his suggestion is to meet at York's funeral home, where he would be in the at least till noon.
Yes, and sadly he has work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good. So at the hour you suggest here.
Yeah, like 10 o'clock.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you again.
And he leaves. So any more?
What did he seem like? Did he seem like he was under duress? Did he seem guarded?
Guarded is... He seemed to be friendly and try to be accommodating, but he seemed a bit guarded.
Fair enough. He might
So-
have been spying after all, and we brought him in.
So this yoke, we believe, is a descendant of this individual from some of the tells we've picked up.
The family goes all the way back to the founding of the festival. Some relative sculpted the strange water lady.
Back in the big city, yeah, we were in.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact that he sits on the magic chain of golden coins year round is suggestive.
Agreed.
I don't even, in fact, love the fact that he's an undertaker professionally. You know. But he probably has answers, and in fact, we might meet him before tomorrow at 10 if we dream.
Those of you who recently flipped through the Grimm's Tales, do you remember reading anything about an undertaker?
I don't think there are a lot of professions except farmer and miller and king.
Yeah.
I was more thinking of in the synagogue records, there was a mention of a yoke, and the reason why the city was burned down and torn apart and records burned about 5 centuries ago was something to do with a yoke family.
Yeah.
They were like sorcerers or something. I can't remember. It was like something that they did something horrific and it had to be purged from the books.
That's the thing about purging things from books. It's hard to look them up. But yes, you're right. I mean, this is the lineage that's related to these incursions, including the sculpture and the, whatever happened in dim prehistory.
Chain is, I guess, a gateway, I guess, of sorts, or at least some kind of implement of sorts to that. It's possibly.
So it's a little ludicrous to go through this in my head, but so let's say the ancient yokes tried to do something. They tried to use alchemy or magic or something to gain power in the dreamlands, and that somehow over the centuries it's all bleeding into our world.
Less.
And
think they
those coins might be some magical link.
I mean, supposedly the coins are connected to Bokrug.
Well, we've seen the coins in the other world.
I'm more wondering, I don't think it's power. I think it was meant to directly bridge the gap, and it never fully worked. Or maybe it worked too well.
Well, it seems like it's always about power.
Possibly.
Also, the survivors of the city of Sarnath went to found a new city, someplace they'd be safe, and made an arrangement.
And they had the gold that Bokrug was originally made out of.
So I feel as though the arrangement to go to another realm where they'd be safe is here, and they're trying to fully...
Except that the Ibians, if that's what we're going to call them, have somehow found them here, and they're trying to come through and gain their revenge.
Any means necessary.
Bring down doom upon them.
And that city was very much empty. And I
Just the last
Or so
seven
you remember
suns.
or so you remember like we could only like make for like motion sounds. There were no sounds of actual we couldn't speak. It was quite
That was
disturbing.
in Sarnath,
Yeah, sorry,
in the White City.
as I was saying, it's a
So,
This is-
so, I'm sorry.
Any more plans for tonight?
So when is our appointment with Mr. Yo?
Tomorrow morning at 10
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
so
at his funeral home.
At his funeral.
try to have an early sleep, or I don't know, maybe considering the odds, I feel like it's a bit dangerous to try to get to the records. I feel like if we see them, there's at least some, but I don't know what it actually gain. I feel like there's a lot of pieces we'd understand, but I don't think it actually helps us right now. Unless we just find the professor at the basement of the precinct, but I doubt that.
Keeper, remind me of my conversation at the records hall. I filled out a form and they said I should check back in a few days. Is that what I was told?
Yeah, basically.
The mayor said it was okay.
Yeah, they have to clear with mayor. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring my knife with me to bed. And I'm going to hold on to the knife and see if there's possibility of waking up in the dreamlands with a knife in my hand.
I mean, I think I'm just going
Because
to
weirder things have happened.
I'm going to sleep with I think I'm going to sleep with my coat on that has my gun in it. So I'm just going to see if something comes of it.
Well, I think I'll sleep in my pajamas because in the dreamlands I always wear different clothing anyway. So
True.
well,
Okay.
sweet dreams to us all.
Dreams.
See you later.
As you guessed, you fall asleep and you find yourself back on that road leading northwards through these endless fields of wheat.
Here we are.
We still have our gift boots
You
from the
still
7
have
cobblers.
you still have your boots and you still have the feeling that you are making quick progress, although you're not actually moving any faster.
Did I dream my knife into existence here, or?
Well, you every time you've entered here, you have a sword on your side. That's still there, but not the knife.
Okay.
The land of dreams. And they've talked about the people that can shape things into reality. I want to just image putting a stick appearing in my hand.
Oh. You can give me a D100.
Okay.
And what is your magic points?
I have 12 magic points.
Okay, so that's the number to beat.
All right, let's see. No, that was a 52.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Did I
I've
at least feel like
forgotten-
something was going to happen, but then I just lost it? Or is it just like
It's
nothing?
far away, so not really. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking into your hand.
It was only 40 points off. It could have been worse.
I've forgotten what I'm wearing.
You're wearing like an old style medieval lawyer's outfit or something. It was like an
You were like
adjudicator.
in fineries and clothed
right.
as a nobleman.
Right. No sword.
Oh, yeah, like a rapier.
Oh, great.
So you basically walked through these fields the whole day. And at some point, you see some tracks leading into the field. Well,
Cart
if you
tracks.
like a cart.
Cart tracks. Do we hear a sing song?
No.
I know we're in a hurry to find the sleeping girl, but shouldn't we see any interruption in the landscape is perhaps a a note for us?
Sure. Also, perhaps if it's an unmanned cart, I don't know if it's maybe a bit unluck to us, we could use it to maybe travel a bit faster.
Maybe it's full of silk flowers.
Maybe we can dream up a horse.
I tried a bit earlier, but considering that that professor mentioned that there are people that can just will this world to do things, maybe we can eventually make things manifest for us.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try for a horse.
I think that's ridiculous.
Okay, same thing.
I got a 20 and my magic points are 12. Can I spend luck?
Well, you could spend luck, yes, but to be fair, you won't be able to manifest a real horse.
That's okay. I'm more willing to spend it to get something cool.
To happen.
Get a horse fly.
Or no, or it's a wooden horse.
So I spend my 8 points of luck to succeed.
Okay, so you spend the 8 points. Yeah, let's go with that. You concentrate and you form this picture of a horse in your head, and suddenly you have a small statue of a horse, a small figurine of a horse in your hand.
Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Did you see this? I dreamed this. I thought this into being.
So basically you have, you all can note down, if you want a dreaming skill equal to your magic points.
Okay.
If only there was a more practical usage of such a skill.
I think with
Dreaming or
practice,
Dreamcraft?
we'll get better.
Would it be called dreaming or dreamcraft?
Dreaming.
Okay.
So I follow the cart tracks into the wheat.
Yeah, Walter, you feel a little tired by this.
It took a lot out of me.
So basically, you lost. I would have to check like 2 or 3 magic points.
Sure.
Who checked the tire tracks or the cart tracks?
I am following the cart tracks.
Okay. You walk a bit into the field. Do the others stay on the road or?
No, I'll walk with
I'll go too.
Hans.
Yeah, I think it's best we stay together. Although I'm probably walking most slow as I continue to be fascinated by my little horse.
Daniel, you as well?
I'm going to the cart. I
Yeah.
want to.
Okay, so you follow the tracks, which lead in quite a bit into the wheat field, and after some time, like 200 or 300 yards, you see there's something in the field. Could be an old cart. The wheat has grown a little bit over it and through it.
So does it have any signs of motley on it?
No, it's like a farmer's cart.
And it has no contents? There are no sacks in the rear or?
Well, if you go closer, there seems to be like something like sacks on the front of it, and there is a box on the back of the cart.
I'll approach it carefully with my sword drawn.
This is the dream world. Is the box locked?
No, it's just a wooden box, like maybe maybe 3 by 3 feet.
So there's a
so
box on the
three by
front.
two.
So box on the front seat. You said
The box in the rear.
No,
sacks
the
in the
box is in the back,
back. Okay.
and you go to the front, Joseph.
Sure.
So what you thought from behind that would be sacks seem to be two bodies, which hunch over, and basically the skin has all dried. They're really like mummified.
I'll take a couple steps back.
Yeah, you can do sanity.
Detective Henning, you want to take a look?
Joseph,
Yeah.
do sanity check.
Yeah, I passed my sanity. So the bodies are desiccated to some extent.
Yeah.
Do they look like they rotted at all? I mean, maybe bacteria doesn't exist in the dream worlds.
Well, they really look like they're mummified. They're all dried out.
Right.
Look like-
Can I see how they died? Are there wounds?
Well, not really.
Hmm.
They are dressed in something like homespun.
So peasants of some sort, probably.
It looked like they were like the way they're like laying down. Does it look like they just slept and never woke up?
They're just like hunched over to the front, like they just collapsed.
Perhaps they died in the real world and their dream selves died here.
I wonder if this is the children manifesting here. The dead children.
I don't know what they look like.
They size-wise, they're adults.
I guess let's check what's in the sacks and then like at the box.
They are the sacks.
Oh,
They're sacks of bones.
Hmm.
Or things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should check the box.
Let's check, and their pockets too, if there was anything in them, gold or.
to see if they had something with them. Yeah.
Yeah, open the box.
I'll check the bodies. Do you guys look at the box?
So, Carl, you're checking the box?
I was there first.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he was I was looking at the bodies. I figured.
Yeah, right. So Hans, you open the lid of the crate. Where you see is basically straw. It's like packed with straw.
Okay, so I'll shuffle some of this out as if it's protecting something.
Yeah, you brush aside the straw a bit, and you find like a small glass vial, which is at the top is sealed with something like a silvery substance, and there's something like a little bell inside of the vial.
Okay, we've got a dream thing. Got a dream thing. Anybody remember a story about a
bell in a jar?
Is it a silver bell?
Yeah, it looks silver.
It's in a fluid, and is the fluid?
No, it's just
hanging inside the glass jar that's stoppered with silver.
Yeah,
something silvery.
Well, it definitely feels like something that you'd use to fight off a witch or some sort of magical object.
As you turn it, as you shake it and turn it, you notice it looks like it's a bell, but there's no
Stopper.
Yeah, no. So it makes absolutely no noise when you shake it.
So it's missing its clapper. It's a half of a bell in a jar.
Is the bell rigid in there, or does it bang against the glass itself and make a noise?
It moves around, but it doesn't make any sound when you it's rolling around in the vial, but you don't hear it clanging against the wall.
Is it something from Sarnath?
Very unnatural.
Assorted with waking up.
Only on alarm clocks, as far as I know. But yeah, I think the Sarnath connection is a very silent place. I wonder if this, when smashed, would make something quiet. Anyway,
Or
I'll
wake
put it in my
everyone up.
jerkin or pouch or whatever I have in my
Bring scholars
No.
around.
robes.
You, when you looked into the box, you brushed away a bit of the straw. So that was the first thing you found. The box is bigger.
Right. Small,
So
yeah.
you rummage through it and you find 12 of these vials, all in all.
12. Another mystical number.
Oh,
So
well.
each of us should take a couple for safekeeping.
Each
Do the
one just take
bells
2?
have different sizes, or do they quite
No,
identical?
They look
They're all
they look
identical.
handcrafted, so they're not perfectly the same, but basically the same shape.
Same design.
As a shape.
And the stopper, is it silver wax or is it metallic or?
It seems to be a silvery substance. You can't really make out what it is.
My nail doesn't scratch
Could
it?
be, yeah, it's a bit soft. Could be like a wax.
Or some hybrid thing? Maybe
Like-
it's, moonbeams.
I make the motion of ringing the bell next to my horse to see if I can awaken it.
Wake up.
What is the figurine made of anyway? Is it like wooden or metal?
Or ivory or clay,
The figurine. What?
bone.
Walter, you tell me.
Yeah, it's ivory with beautiful black stone hooves and eyes that are black, no whites in them at all.
Well, let's keep walking.
And as you're, when you just turn around and start back to the towards this the road, you hear this laughter again.
Little child laughter.
The laughter you hear when you hear that voice with the mouse rhyme.
Oh,
Sandman, what do you want this
Sandman.
time?
You hear the voice laughing. You can't really make out from where it's coming. And you hear this voice again. There runs the mouse.
There
Do
hangs
you
my
want a
tail.
fur hat?
let's make a fur hat. Yeah.
Well, let's see if he's on the road and we can catch him.
We gotta keep going.
Does that? Did anybody respond to the rhyme?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I speak it back. I don't remember the words off the top of my head, the player,
mouse.
but
Catch it by the tail, make a good fur
So
hat.
you do the answer. So you answer, and whoever catches it make a giant cap out of his pelt. And once you say that, the laughter turns rather more merry, and you hear the same voice. And don't you forget those words. And then the voice and the laughter are gone.
Who
Wait.
are you?
Don't forget those words. Wait. Weren't we supposed to find like a rhyme that will seal away the gate?
Ah,
Yes, that's the hope. If we get
What if
the
it's
correct
that?
one. I think it
What if
is.
If it's the Sandman, he's meant to be the guardian for like the bridge between the realm. What if that's the only way he can speak in weird rhymes in weird ways?
Alarnak awaits, Sleeping Beauty. We have a new tool. although it's silent. Not as north.
Well, supposedly, if words have power, and people can't speak them, maybe they have less.
You can silence
So-
the wizard from doing his magic, maybe.
So you returning to the road and resuming your walk.
Indeed.
Do not. And you basically walk the whole day. And at some point starts to become night again. And basically
Do we get tired?
you get tired, you get exhausted, and you get hungry.
Let's
That's new.
make a
Something you
little
haven't
camp.
something you haven't had before. The other times you've been here, you never felt hunger.
Yeah, usually you don't in a dream. So something's
Something
getting
different.
stronger.
Or perhaps the shoes.
Let's make a little camp then.
Does
see
the
if
city
there's-
seem closer?
Well, you don't see the city.
Yeah, it must be closer. I'm going to close my eyes and try and imagine a large blueberry bush with blueberries all over it, since I'm so hungry. Oh,
Give it a
no.
try.
I tried. Got a thorn bush. No, I didn't.
So you basically settle down, you make a kind of uncomfortable camp again.
Suppose some of our weapon wielding fellows can cut a little bit of the wheat to make something to lie upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that's
Make some
possible.
piles.
Sure, I can do that.
Is there a moon?
Yeah, there's a moon up.
What does the moon look like?
Like gibbous moon, it's near full moon.
We should find something to hunt. Maybe there's rabbits or something. We don't have any bows or arrows. That's what we should have wished for.
Well, I haven't seen
I
any.
try to
running around.
manifest. Try to image in my. I try to remember the weight of what it would be like, to hold a crossbow and like a stack of bolts in my hand. See what happens. See what happens.
Go ahead.
I'm going to try for bread and cheese. Not this time.
No.
So you try around. You all start to get a feeling for this dream. You all start to feel that you are able to manifest things, but you don't really get it done. And you spend a rather uncomfortable night and wake up next morning pretty early. There's still the same road, still the same wheat field.
I grab a couple of heads of wheat and see if my horse is interested in nibbling as we get ready in the morning.
So you take you grab a bit of the wheat.
Yeah.
And as you rip up the head of the wheat stalk, there's blood dripping out of it.
Oh my goodness! There's blood in the wheat.
What?
Well, it wasn't
Come look.
last night when you cut down the stuff to make beds.
I'm not feeding this to my horse.
Is that we connect to anything? Like, it's like Walter, is there?
That's a great point. Let's look at the ground. I get down on the ground to see if there's any corpses or.
Nope.
Grab another one, Daniel. Somewhere else.
This is all these weird, odd things happening. They've got to have some connection with Grimm's fairy tales, don't they?
Maybe.
You cut
I'm gonna cut
off
I'm gonna cut like a tip of one off with my blade.
Yeah, there's blood coming from it as well.
Is it like
It's not like gushing. It's just like a little droplet of blood.
is it like if you cut a finger off?
A bit.
That would be
Like
awkward.
if you cut into a finger.
Oh, okay.
Field of
I'm going to taste it just to make sure it really is blood and not like grape juice or.
Yes, you
See,
do
you
that,
taste
Carl.
it. It has.
Smell it.
So you put a bit to your mouth, and you have this coppery taste blood has,
Yeah.
but it tastes foul and fishy.
Well,
Fisherman blood.
it's bad. Like fish blood.
Oh, like
Maybe
Wait.
these fields are Ibian grain.
I'm going to go stark raving mad if we don't get to that city.
I'll put
And,
some of this grain in my pocket.
Okay. So you start walking to the north.
didn't they say that city is near the place where nightmares go?
No, the
Or was it something else?
Lehman said that the land of Zach is
Czar.
where forgotten nightmares go.
It's the land of Czar.
The land of the Czar and the city of Zach. That way around. You start off to the on the road again, and the sun starts to rise, and you're feeling ever more hungry and thirsty. And when
It
it
stopped being fun yesterday evening.
Yeah.
We need some food and water.
What if we sing song this little mousy poem as we go along to occupy our minds? Maybe it'll help.
Gentlemen,
Maybe if we all just try to think about a similar thing together, maybe something will work.
The gates of Ilarnak.
gentlemen, just as a theory, I wonder if perhaps our bodies in the real world are in some sort of deep sleep. Perhaps our actual bodies aren't getting fed. And then that hunger and thirst is reflecting on our dream selves.
Maybe.
Maybe, but multiple days have passed when we were in a dream and we were perfectly fine.
Sometimes I dream about water and it means I gotta pee and I wake up and I have to go.
We haven't chosen to wake up yet. We've just woken.
Yeah, it always happens against our will.
I'll try the chant, Carl.
All right.
I'll join in.
Let's
I'll-
sort of sing
I'll
songly
I'll be there too, just to.
off to see
focus
the
on-
wizard skipping down the road.
I'm
My
too tired to
tale
skip.
is done.
And there runs a mouse, whosoever catches it
Is it?
may make
So
himself a
you-
big fur cap out of it.
We keep
walk
trying to
down
figure out a way to sing it. We keep
You walk
keep
down the
experimenting.
road, and at some point, sing to yourself. And at some point, when you come to the top of a little rise, you look. You can see far into the distance, and you see that the scenery starts to change a little bit. The fields are slowly intermingled with groves of trees.
So there's at least change of landscape coming up.
There's some
Can
fruit
we
on the
can we
trees.
see a city in the distance or
No.
A pond?
smoke in the
A
air
river?
like from fireplaces?
Yeah, is there any like? I guess I'll just figure out if any sponsor.
So let's just keep going that way.
Yeah.
So you keep on the road, and after a couple of hours, you'll reach the first of these tree groves. And they're apple trees.
Oh, thank God.
They're big, ripe red apples hanging from them.
I worry.
If
I
that
don't
tree
think-
comes alive, it gets mad at us for picking its apples.
Yeah, I also
we definitely
worry
start
that
with one, and one person tastes it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was more
poison
thinking
apples.
that if we take it, we're now under right to be cursed because maybe someone owns these groves, but I'm a bit too hungry to care.
It's true. We appear to be somehow connected with fairy tales, and one of the stories about fairyland is if you eat the food in the fairyland, you can never go back.
You're never going to you eat this. I'll have an apple.
So you pick an apple from the tree and
Yeah.
bite into it.
I do.
Okay.
I'm quite hungry.
We're going to all have to kiss the sleeping prince when
I'm good.
You bite into the apple, and the first bite is quite good. It's sweet. It's a good ripe apple.
It tastes fine, gentlemen. It's a regular apple.
I grab one. Dig in.
Like, give him 5 minutes to see if he passes out or turns purple or something.
Let's just grab. Maybe we'll just grab a few and then like keep them in pockets and we'll eat them after we think it's okay.
So you're tugging into the apples, or Carl?
I'm eating one.
waiting? Okay.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm trying to share it with my horse.
Daniel, Hans.
I'm just gonna grab two and pocket them, and I'll.
You're really hungry,
I know. It's just.
and they look delicious.
I know, but like, I'm in the dreamlands, and I know that.
What are you doing?
I'll eat one. Cautiously.
Just you're muted.
Are there any fallen apples on the
No,
ground?
there are no apples on the ground.
Doesn't that seem strange, gentlemen? That only the ripe, beautiful apples are hanging low, were to be reached,
So
and not
it's
one
a
has
dream.
fallen.
If I was
There's
dreaming
no-
of an orchard, I wouldn't dream
before
of
you
fallen
keep
apples.
on before you keep on talking, who's right now biting into apples? 3. Okay, as I said, they are juicy, they're delicious, and then you bite into it, there's this foul piece, and you look at the apple and there's like a worm or something, like maggot.
Oh,
in it.
I'm going to throw it away.
Bit on the ground.
Ate
Yeah.
around it.
Well,
I'm going-
it's not the whole apple, but there are parts that are just
Well, wormy
I think
apples
they are
in the
rotten
wild.
I'll take my sword and cut a few in half. Or do they
Yeah, I
all
was
have the
just-
same? Do they all have the same problem?
basically all the same. They look beautiful. They have very tasty parts, and there are parts that are completely rotten and infested with worms.
Well,
All right,
I'll
then,
cut
I
out
guess-
some of the good parts and eat the good parts.
Yeah, we have like blades. I think we just grab a few and then I guess just start cutting them
you can
apart
do that.
and just like salvage the good parts because we're fucking hungry.
So you spend some time doing that.
Maybe there's a field ahead that's got fruit that isn't rotten in it, and we're wasting time. Maybe
Yeah, we
this is
should
put here to
actually, yeah.
slow us down.
Yeah, we should.
We have some place to be. We have a tragedy to stop.
It also means that there are insects here that infect apples with their larvae.
Maybe,
Just like in
maybe
the
just
real world.
dream apples turn into dream worms when A stranger
ground.
bites them. You can say, are there any insects in the air?
Yeah, there are some insects, flies. and-
Birds?
There are birds.
This is all created by our own imaginations that have somehow. So
Or at least
everything
someone
should be
else's.
the same.
A collective, yeah. But humans for a very long time believed in spontaneous generation. So maybe that is still
Aristotle.
true
Well,
here in the Dreamlands.
considering the Ibians and I guess Sarnath, something used to be here before us, or at least something here changed the land to what they wanted. So maybe there's other rules that apply beyond us.
Let's keep going.
Yeah,
I agree. Let's move on. As
I at
Hans
least
said.
have some. I had some slices of me, so I at least think I can keep going.
So you basically keep on walking, and this whole thing keeps up for not only hours or the rest of the day, but you're walking for a couple of days. You don't seem to wake up, and after spending another 2 very uncomfortable nights, you're able to feed yourself from fruit that's growing on the trees. You have to be very careful to cut it up, and you find water troves at some point along the road. The water is stale, but you are thirsty, and it doesn't seem to make you sick.
I need somebody to heat it up at some point.
I'm thinking we need to wake up soon.
Yeah.
On the evening of the 4th day you're marching, you see a fire shine in the distance on the roadside.
The travelers?
Yeah, it could be like from a campsite.
What hour of the 4th day?
The evening. It's getting dark.
Is there a wagon or just a fire?
You just see the shine of fire.
So I want to look through some greenery at the number of parties around the fire and so on before we walk into.
We want to hide, so that they can't see us.
Well, you can try to walk through the field then, and the woods.
Mhm.
I'm so that we can sneak up and see how many people are there.
It's just one sneaking up, or all of you?
I think somebody should lead.
Perhaps it's okay.
Came up with the idea. Yeah.
Okay, then do a
Hans, master of stealth, sadly.
do a
Came up with the
I can
idea.
go. Actually, I can go ahead and quiet. But like, if you wanted to like talk,
Daniel was very good
Yeah.
when we sent him over the top of the during the war.
That's true.
Go ahead and try. I'm weary.
all right.
Okay, Daniel, you give me a stealth roll.
That's a normal success.
Success? Okay. So you sneak up on this campsite. There are 4 old men sitting around a campfire. They have bags on the ground next to them. And they're not talking. They are dark-skinned, dressed in like bit looking like Middle Eastern robes. They're just sitting there staring into the fire. They seem to have some meat on sticks that they are roasting over the fire. It smells delicious.
Is the campsite the road? Or at least the trail.
It's just next to the road. To the road.
I'm gonna sneak back down to the road, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to just walk down the road and see their hospital. They're
Well,
just
you
cooking some
just
food. And
you walk down
I,
down the road, and at some point,
I make sure to tell the others that I'm doing this just so they understand. But I'm gonna walk
at
down the
some
road
point,
like I'm a traveler and just
they see you. Hello there,
hello.
alone traveler on this road. How strange.
Actually, I have some friends of mine, but I'm ahead of them, so they might be coming.
Oh,
They might be coming in a little bit, but
you want to share a fire?
actually, yes, that'd be quite nice.
Come.
I'm going to join him walking along slowly.
So you're all moving up.
I think we
Yes.
should give them a few minutes to see whether they get knifed before we march up. But we outnumber them ultimately, and you're all armed. I'm not, of course. Things seem peaceable after 10 minutes, and maybe there's conversation. Maybe one of you will look back into the shadows and give me a high sign.
So, I mean,
All right.
So the ones who go up to the camp are welcome warmly. You're invited to share their fire, and they offer you some food and water.
Thank you. We don't have any way of paying you back. We've actually been starving for a few days. Ate some rotten apples.
Oh, you ate the apples here. They're no good.
Yeah, just little bits and pieces of them.
Nothing from this land is very good.
What is this land? What name is this?
You're in the land of Nar. Where are you from?
A long distance, a place called Berlin.
I've never heard of that. Is that in the dreaming world, or are you from the waking world?
From the waking world.
Ooh, travelers from the waking world.
All the way from Sarnath.
You have been to Sarnath. Then you've gone a long, long way. What drove you to Sarnath? It's lost.
We
need to go to.
didn't intend to go there. We just found ourselves there.
It's just where we wake up. It's where we just started our journey.
I heard this story before. My great grandfather told stories of travelers that were drawn to Sarnath. I never believed him. Sarnath is dead for so long.
Dead and silent.
Oh, yes.
What makes you? Why are you out here on the road?
Oh, we have our business. We're on the way to Dothar.
Dolthar?
Dothar, yeah. It's a city in the desert. It's far away from here, but we will get there. And where do you want to go?
We have something in mind, but we heard that the first stop or the first major stop would be Ilarnak.
Ilarnak, yes. We don't talk about Ilarnak. The
No,
folk
it's a bad
the
place.
folk that lives there once we were supposed to be once related to them, but they got strange.
Strange how?
We don't talk about this city. It is bad luck.
Sorry. We won't
bring it
mention
up
it
again
then.
Where are you from? Or right now, you said you're from Nar, right now.
Well, folks are from this land, and as I said, we are returning to Dothar, which is one of the city states of Nar.
Is Nar anywhere close to Zar?
Oh no, Zar is far to the south. You don't want to go there. No one returns from the Zar.
That's what we've heard. Just similarity in the name bit. Oh, so how far do you think, which way were you coming along the road? Were you coming from that direction? And I point in the direction we're going.
Oh, we will leave the road here. We will go to the east. If you want to go to that cursed city, then you have a long march ahead of you.
Well, from what you said, we might just avoid it. It sounds not good.
So
To
maybe it's a bit quite
You
odd
got
to
the
ask,
last one?
but I know
What's
it's
that?
quite odd to ask, but like, why are like I guess there's so many I guess so many apple trees here, but why are they all bad?
This land isn't good anymore. This land once was flourishing and was ripe with grain and fruit. But everything that grows here is tainted.
Well, then where did you get your meat from? Is there some farm nearby?
Ooh, that is our secret. But we will gladly give you some for your way.
Very generous.
Thank you.
But
Boy.
do you have anything you could trade us for it?
Actually, I think I do. I found this in a wheat field. And like I hand out this flask like it's the only one I have.
Ooh.
Hans and I are joining them now.
But like I gesture to be like, don't bring up like don't talk about the other flask, just like bring up this one we have.
Right.
Its eyes light up. Oh, a vial of Sarnatian silence. That is something. We can trade you for that for sure.
Besides your meat, do you have like a map we can use?
Oh, you haven't been to the Dreamlands often, have you?
I haven't gone to explore far beyond.
Maps are
not helpful.
that what you call maps are not of much use in this land.
The land shifts.
I think water is mostly what we need. And your blessing to go to a cursed place.
I'm actually very curious that you recognize this flask. What does it have special meaning, special significance?
Well, it's a bit of the silence of Sarnath caught in a bottle. If you open it or break it, you won't be able to hear anything.
How long? Just that area is now tainted
for
silence?
a couple of minutes.
Well, like it's
Not very long.
It's some sort of potion?
No.
Magic?
Well, you could say it's magic. It is the bound silence of the city of Sarnath. But it dissipates after a couple of minutes.
It's quite a rare novelty considering
Yes,
it goes
it
to
is.
Sarnath.
It was a very strange place to travel in. We did not go there by choice. And it was very silent.
I am going to do something very odd. I'm going to look a little bit beyond where the fire is, into the shadows, and I'm going to say, oh, there goes a mouse. If we catch it, we can make a hat or whatever. The phrase.
Oh, that rhyme we know. We tell it to our children.
Do you?
Yes, where do you know it from?
I'm not sure.
It's repeated in the waking world as well.
What does it mean?
Oh, we don't know. It is ancient. It is a rhyme told by our women to our children. I don't know what the meaning is. I think it's been forgotten.
Do you know the story that precedes it? The one of the two children that get lost in the woods. They meet
Ooh, doesn't sound familiar.
a candy witch.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Let us regale you with a story or two, I guess.
And
dear
perhaps
Tom.
we can pay you back, at least in this way. I can tell you the story, and I'll tell him the story of Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, they seem very interested. Well, we'll have to rest now. But tell you what, for the story and the vial, we will give you one of our bags. It will have enough provisions for you to reach whatever destiny you are seeking.
Thank you.
All right, here you go.
Very kind of you.
Most generous.
I like gently handle him the flask.
Safe travels to you and to Dothar.
So the former old man, huddle up in blankets and lie down. And at some point, you huddle up as well, as good as you can. When you hear a knocking, and you wake up in your beds. Let's go with Henning.
I'm heading for breakfast. I'm starving.
Fucking hungry, yeah.
Well, you wake up to a knocking on your door.
Yes, just a moment. I get up and rub my eyes. As
Please
I
open
walk
up.
towards the door. Oh, yes, just here. I go and I open up the door.
And in front of the door, you see the young policeman you talked to at first.
Oh, hello. What can I do for you?
Well, you're in one room with Daniel, I think, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
both of you woke up. I have to ask you and your friends to accompany me to the mayor's office.
What time is it?
Okay, well, let us at least put our clothes on and get ready.
Oh yeah, sure.
Very early.
I'll have to get your friends as well.
Oh yeah, just knock on their doors. Can we get something to eat before we go?
Well, I was told to fetch you immediately, but
I don't want to
Yeah,
cause
I
you any
guess not.
problems. We'll just get breakfast afterwards. But
I'll just grab something on the way if it can. But
all right, come on, let's get ready.
I put like the blinds away just to see. Is it like early morning?
It's like a little later than you would usually sleep, like 9 o'clock.
Okay, it's like a little past. Oh, we said a little longer. Okay.
All right, so I get dressed.
Do I have my horse?
Nope. No horse, no shoes, no glass vials,
No grain.
no drain. Nothing passed over with you. And you're all woken up by that policeman.
Do we still feel that hunger and thirst, or do we deal with that?
No. Well, you're basically hungry and thirsty like you're always in the morning for breakfast. But you don't feel
Psychologically,
like
I'm
you've
hungry.
been walking for days without proper food.
So, Daniel, what do you think? He's going to want it. The sheriff. I mean, the mayor wants this. Yes.
The sheriff.
Yeah.
There's going to be there. But
I'm still waking up.
I don't know if it's going to be anything good, but we can't really you can't really cause a fuss right now.
Well, you tried to get a look at the documents yesterday, didn't you?
I didn't feel like opening. I didn't feel like causing another problem yet. I just I just tried to get a sense of my odds.
You filled
I
out
didn't
the
like them.
request, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, this might be a response to your request.
Well, Prince sent a request out formally.
Also, you can't escape the fact that it looks like we show up in town and people start committing suicide and murdering each other.
Yeah, we have the oddest luck in this case.
So
All right.
you, are you having breakfast first, or
No, we'll all meet now. I don't want to cause the policeman.
Right.
Let's see if I can get something
problems.
quick, like some like coffee or something, just to.
Grab a
So he-
strudel and a
So he's taking us to the mayor.
yeah.
yeah,
That-
that's what he said.
Yes. Yes. I've been meaning to meet this mayor of yours. I have some questions on my own.
Grab some bread and butter and a cup of coffee.
A strudel. I want a strudel.
And while you're walking over to the city hall, the young man's talking to you, Carl. And you really got me into some trouble there. You could have told me that you're not with the police in Berlin.
I am with the police in Berlin. I'm a detective.
Yeah,
Doing a
but,
consulting.
well, Boberg called in with the police in Berlin, and he found he was told that you were removed from the force.
Let's just go on.
This
Talk
is
about
Corporal Schultz.
No, that's the other one, the leaner type, the one who was quite unfriendly. The one who
Fulberg is the one who
walking
called.
with is the young trainee policeman, Dirke.
Mhm. Officer Dirka, perhaps it's a confusion of organizational structure. The Herr Henning is a private detective who's
Yes,
been hired by Herr Prince, who's a lawyer, who's working in official capacity for a citizen of Berlin. It's not we never suggested, I'm sure, Herr Henning never suggested that it was an official investigation from Berlin. We would have no business. Isn't that right, Herr Prince? You could explain the jurisdictional questions better than I.
Yes,
Look,
I've been hired by the family of a missing man to track
Well,
him down.
you don't have to explain that to me. I was just
Well,
told
I
to
think I
catch it.
do. All right. Well,
So and yeah,
let's just say that I have enemies in Berlin who've done their best to try to ruin my career, but I've sidestepped them and don't believe anything they say.
do a persuade roll just to see how
That's
he
what my
takes you.
persuade is. Persuade. Yeah, I missed it by 24 points.
No worries.
Yeah, probably the guy told him that I was drummed out of the force because of taking bribes, which was a lie.
Okay, so you get to the town hall, and he brings you to the into the clerk's office Joseph was in yesterday, and you're asked to wait for here. And after a couple of minutes, a big, heavy-set man comes out of a hallway on the back, and he turns to his clerk and goes like, "So these are those guys from Berlin?" Yes, Mayor. He looks at you. Come with me. And he
Yep.
turns around and walks back to his office.
Certainly, Herr Mayor.
Very nice to meet you. We've heard so much about you. Thank you for having us visit. We've wanted to speak to you for days.
You'd be quite busy.
I introduce myself and my friends, and say this is a delightful village, Mayor. Thank you again for having us.
Yes. As I said, he's a pretty heavy-set man, balding, with a thick neck, and he sits down behind his desk. So, what is all this you're doing in my town? You're stirring up a lot of trouble, I think.
I look at one of the constables and I say, "Can you bring us some coffee? We were taken out of bed rather early. Thank you." Yeah, Mayor, as my friend has been telling you, we've been investigating the case. Carl,
the mayor gives
can you tell him
the
some more?
constable a sign.
Some sort of.
Yeah, and the young constable leaves. See, and he pulls out a napkin and dips some sweat away, wipes away some sweat. So, what are you doing here? And who are you anyhow? Who of you is Henning?
I'm Carl Henning.
So,
I was hired by I can't remember her name all of a sudden.
Mrs. Erling.
Mrs. Elling.
Mrs. Erling, to locate her husband, a professor of the university in Berlin. And we have come in this direction, and we are here now. I am a private investigator. During the war, I served on the Berlin Police Department, and because of politics and corruption that was increasing in the force, I felt it was my duty to do my best to keep the law and order, since nobody else seemed to be. But because of the corruption, people trumped up some false charges on me and got me thrown off of the force. That hasn't stopped me at all from obeying the law and following proper procedures and doing everything that I've done. You should know a lot about corruption. It happens all the time. However, my record shows that I am absolutely.
Walter, do me a favor, do a psychology.
Sure. Yeah, that's a hard success.
When Carl mentions corruption, the mayor seems to get a bit startled.
Exactly the reaction that I kind of want.
I thought
A politician would know everything about corruption.
And you're looking for this so-called professor.
Professor Erling.
Yeah.
Yes, Mayor. Professor Erling.
How come you're looking for him? I mean,
because his wife hired us to do so.
He went to this location.
He's disappeared in this location. We are looking for him. Do you know where he is?
Tell us where he is. We'll be on our way.
No, we don't know where he is. That's why the police is looking for him in connection to the young girl we found. See, we have the big festival coming up, and I don't fancy having a couple of nosy people from Berlin poking their noses in everywhere. From what I heard, you have a strange knack of turning up in places where strange things are happening. And I wonder how that could be. What did you have to do?
Thank goodness he did. A young girl owes her life to Mr. Henning. She would have died from a shotgun wound. You should be thanking him. You would
Mr.
want anything to be learned about your constables not doing a good job, would you?
And Herr Mayor, the tragedy of the missing children is resolved because we were in town trying to discover.
And how come you have been there? I don't understand that.
How do you not understand that? We're looking for a professor. We have to ask people questions.
Does an old lady living by her own has to do with the professor?
She may have seen something.
We thought he went into hiding, so thought she would know people that went through the woods.
Surely the mayor of this town isn't more concerned with the festival than he is with human life.
Well, the festival is a big commercial thing in this town, and
so money's more important to you than somebody who's missing.
I've not been saying that.
No, on the contrary, it's good for the festival that the crimes that have recently been committed are resolved. Luckily, no one who comes has to worry about their children because the mad woman took her own life and the children have been found and will be given a safe Christian burial. It's greatly to the good fortune of the city that we stumbled across that tragic scene.
As soon as we find the professor, we'll be gone.
Mr. Mayor, as a trained lawyer who knows the law quite well, with utmost integrity, I can assure you that everything we have done in your town is within the bounds of the law. We have not pressured anybody to talk with us. They have spoken to us of their own free will. There's nothing wrong with that.
So you're that solicitor from Berlin, Mr.
Prince, at your service.
Well, what business do you have with our town records?
Well, I thought knowing a bit more about the history of the town might provide some illumination to our case.
About a man who was in this vicinity for what, 2 days, 3?
Herr Mayor, the reason he came to the town is because he's a linguistic historian. So if we can find out what brought him here, we might find out he's visited other local villages.
Well, he didn't check ask for permission to check the town record, so I can tell you that you won't find any clues there.
Is there something in the town records that you would prefer to keep secret from the general public or even the town itself?
And he slams his fist on the table. What are you suggesting, young man?
I was asking
you're forgetting your place. I really should have you locked up for even suggesting something like that.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I've made document requests in other towns and for other cases. I found your city's policy on access to records quite stringent, and unusually so. Suggesting
maybe other towns
you're not entirely open
with the records. We like to keep our records tidy and don't want to have people nosing around in them and bringing disarray to them.
I'm
at the same time, Herr Mayor. Go ahead, Henning.
So I'm curious to know how you know what Professor Henning has and has not done. How do you know? Have you met him?
Well,
do you know him?
The police is just interested in talking to him about what happened at the Radical.
Yes, but has anyone you know actually talked to him?
Well, if we could have talked to him, the police wouldn't be looking for him.
Well, I can assure you that if we find the professor, we'll bring him to the attention of the authorities so that you can have that conversation. To be perfectly frank, if your officers have turned up anything at all, you'll know that the gentleman in question has been operating with apparent emotional disorder recently, distress. He might be confused or lost. The professor seems to have had some psychological breakdown, or at least there's a chance of that. And so if you want to speak to him and he's lost, it's in your best interest that we be permitted to continue to search for him.
Well, you can search for this professor all you like, but I warn you, if you stir up any more trouble in this town, I won't have that. There are even rumors spreading that people are gathering weapons because of some idiotic story of a werewolf.
We didn't start the story of the werewolf.
Well, I don't know what you started, but your names turn up on every corner with all these stories. And
You've been looking into everything that's been odd happening in the town for the last few days.
In fact, everything that happens every 58 years.
And, with in that moment, there's a knock on the door, and a young woman comes in. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mayor. Could you just sign off the list of the what is it? Of the booth for the fair. We have the final planning for which booth goes where. Yes. She holds a clipboard and he signs it.
Let's see where his priorities.
Any chance to peek at it to see anything on it?
Yeah, you can basically see it. It's a list of names and with numbers behind it. Most likely where the stalls will be set.
Anything jump out as odd?
It's hard to say when somebody just carries
got it.
the list past you. So
no, I just meant the names, like Erling on there or anybody else that would surprise us.
Not that you can see, but you can. It must be at least 20 names.
Okay.
So, as I said, I have to take care of the town's business again. But if I hear that you are stirring up trouble, then
What will
you will be in trouble. Trust me. From Berlin or a lawyer or whatever you are. Am I understood?
Yeah, well, we hear you, but we're going to continue to stir up just as much as we have been because we need to get to the bottom of this case. That's more important to us. What can you do? Lock us up? We've got lawyers.
Just try. Just try me. And I'll get out of my office.
People's lives are on the line, Mayor, and we're trying to help them. And we hope that you would care to help them as well. And the first thing that you could do to help with that would be to allow us to see those records. We want to get out of your village with the professor, but we need your help. And we want your event to be successful, and we want to be gone before it with the professor. So help us.
Is there a basement?
Do a persuade roll.
What? I'm sorry?
Do a persuade roll, but you would need an extreme success to get.
That's going to be hard because I only have base and persuade.
I should have done it, but like I didn't
62.
have the words. Nah.
No. So.
Good morning, Mayor. I have an excellent festival.
Get out of my office.
All right, we'll get out of here.
Before I call the constables.
And as we exit the office, I say, we never even got our coffee.
Thank you for the visit, Mayor.
It's probably tainted anyway.
I think
we will see you soon.
I think this town needs to work on its tourism marketing.
I think that we need to make sure. think that we need to make sure that all of our people back home know exactly where we are and what we're going through, so that if they try anything.
So, and as you leave the office, the young woman that is that just brought in that list, you see that she takes some papers, puts them into a folder, and puts it in a drawer under the front desk. And she talks to the clerk for a moment and then just leaves towards another office.
So she's left where we can grab them.
Well, if you knock out the clerk at the desk, maybe.
Oh, okay. No,
But you've seen,
I thought maybe you
but
were
you saw
saying she was leaving
where
us.
she put it.
I thought you were telling us she was leaving it there purposefully for us to take. But okay.
If we, Herr Ehrenberg, Herr Henning, let's ask the clerk a question. And I give Daniel like a look.
I'll go.
And we're going to try to crowd around a little bit and say,
Now I'll go talk to the late. Or you want me to like,
You're gonna go grab the folder.
fair enough. Okay, we got yeah.
so
I'll go talk to the young woman then.
The young woman is already left.
we're crowding the clerk.
Okay.
The place is the mayor is very upset about the records we've been asking for, but there is the sinkhole question. They turn up once in a while. As the city clerk, perhaps you can tell us: is there any pattern?
So you're basically trying to distract him, and Daniel, you're trying to get to the folder.
Yeah, should I do stealth or like sleight of hand?
Whichever is better.
Okay. They're actually the same.
Or whichever you prefer.
Fair enough. Well, that's an 02, so that's an extreme either one.
Okay, so you basically crowd him a little bit, and the drawer slides open, the folder comes out.
I move a paper from on top of the desk back in, so it looks like there was nothing.
Steve, you're muted if you were talking.
No, I was just yammering at the clerk, and
I guess you take a quick exit then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done, Daniel.
I
go find a secluded place and look at it and maybe call it.
Okay, so you take it back to the hotel, or?
Yeah, we'll go back to the hotel.
Yeah. I guess you're not rummaging through the folder.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go into my hotel room or like a bathroom.
We're not all going to go into the bathroom with you.
No. So you guys should start ordering breakfast because
just go up to our rooms.
Yeah.
So you, it's basically a long list of names and what kind of stalls they have, like beer booth and sausages, and the only thing that comes to that falls into to your eyes is that the name of the proprietor of the shooting booth has been crossed out, and there's the name Hermaya written under it, and in parentheses behind that there's a note: bought the business from the old owner.
How do you spell Hermaya?
Yeah, it's just says the original name has been crossed out and it's written Hermaya under it.
Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Herr Meyer, I see.
Yeah. And I think we'll have the break now.
Excellent. Our players included Brian Ridge, David Gasaway, Max Duell, Steve Anderson, and myself with Pascal Breitenfeld as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.